But that is getting ahead of myself. Please allow me to start from the beginning. My name is Shima, and I represent the Japanese American Veterans Association, which is a nationwide organization to serve the interests of Asia Pacific American veterans. I wish to thank Director Rachel Thompson and Laurie Nakamoto for my being here today. It is an honor for anyone, especially for a member of the 442nd, to speak at a program associated with the General of the Army, George C. Marshall. General Marshall was Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army during World War II. Despite his global responsibilities of winning the war, I believe he had one goal in his list of priorities, and that goal was to resolve the Japanese racial issue. Reading the U.S. Army documents at the National Archives, and earlier today at the Marshall Library, thanks to Mr. Mulvey, I see the hand of General Marshall as he strategized and made decisions with regard to resolving the Japanese issue. For example, the deployment to Italy of the 100th Infantry Battalion, comprised of Japanese Americans who were conscripted before World War II and served in the Hawaii Territorial Guard. Also, the activation of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, comprised of 4,000 Japanese Americans volunteers. Also, as Rachel pointed out, the review of the 442nd by President Truman, who attested at the ellipse to the loyalty of Japanese Americans. These elements on the part of General Marshall was part of General Marshall's goal to resolve the Japanese issue. He must have assessed that a brigade-sized combat team was necessary to make his point. That is the reason, in addition to the battalion, he approved the formation of a regimental combat team, which is a brigade size. General Marshall allowed others, like Assistant Secretary John J. McCloy, to assume the more visible role, but clearly, the official quietly watching and making the key decisions was General Marshall. Now that I have described to you the role played by him to lay the foundation to solve the Japanese issue, allow me to tell you what happened. When Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, there was mass hysteria against all ethnic Japanese, including those born in this country. We were viewed as collaborators and saboteurs of Imperial Japan, and we were tarred with the same brush that condemned it. On February 19, 1942, a few months after the war began, President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, which authorized the War Department to set up 2 military zones, one on the west coast of America and the other in the territory of Hawaii. These military governors had ultimate authority over their respective areas, full control, including internal security. General John DeWitt, military governor of the West Coast, decided, lock them up. 120,000 ethnic Japanese were rounded up on short notice and confined to camps for the duration of the war. On the other hand, General Delcy Emmons, the military governor of Hawaii, which faced a more imminent danger of attack by Japan, decided internment was not necessary. What he did, he listened to his intelligence chief, Colonel Fielder, and to the FBI Bureau Director, Mr. Roberts, who said, we locked up the suspects, 1,500 of them. The rest we can handle. It is to General Emmons' credit that he took that position because Washington ordered him to lock them up in Hawaii. But he's sacrificing or being in danger that his career could be threatened. He chose to make a decision and stand by it where his heart was. Very courageous man. During the darkest days of the Japanese-American history, there were Caucasians who supported us. Very few. We had very few friends. But some who did. Governor Carr of Colorado stood up and challenged the evacuation and internment. He ran in the next election for the U.S. Senate. He lost because of the position that he took. A publisher in Seattle, a radio commentator in California, suffered the same fate by supporting the Japanese cause. When the Japanese Americans were rounded up, they were first placed in what is called assembly centers. Some of these assembly centers were horse stables, such as the Santa Anita racetrack. The horses were removed one night. The stalls were cleaned, but the smell was there. These stalls served as a living room and bedroom for 120,000 people.